Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast of brief messages to help humanity bridge the gap to the new earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard. It is my delight to be a scribe for consciousness today, sharing the wisdom that flows through from Source. Here we go. Episode 289. It is Monday. It is an absolutely glorious fall day here in Cincinnati. I think it's going to 70. The leaves, every tree is just this parade of colors, and the sky's blue right now. It is just gorgeous. So if you are local as you listen to this, get outside. Go outside today for a few moments and just marvel at all that nature is showing us on this Monday. Okay, we're in a new week. We're headed to a new moon this weekend in Scorpio. You may or may not have been feeling some emotions and intensity over the weekend. We had the moon in Cancer, as my daughter reflected to me. And so there's a lot moving. How often do I say that? There's always a lot moving. Sometimes when we know how it's moving or what it is that's moving, it makes it a little easier to walk through it, to flow through it. So I name a couple of those astrological energies in case that gives you some guidance. Today I am going to read the lyrics to a song. I think I'll talk about it first and then I'll read the lyrics. So the song is titled Sitting Alone, and it's by Alicia Mathewson. I've read many of her song lyrics in this podcast space, and she and I have this awesome Patreon page called Creative Play with Viv and Alicia that we just have such fun in. So you've heard me talk about her, I'm sure, before. But perhaps a little background on this song will be helpful so that when you hear the lyrics, there's more depth to why this is relevant today. So this album, it's from her 2012, isn't it an amazing album? And I found that album through a friend, a shaman, a healer that I met named Raphael in August 4 years ago. He had this beautiful sound healing, and we had an amazing awakening and experience in that space. And then about a month later, he was killed. And the person who had introduced us to him had a memorial sort of honoring of his life and the impact he had made on all of us in such a short amount of time. She hosted that at her home in October. It was right around Halloween 4 years ago. And so we all went, and it was absolutely beautiful. Just such love and gratitude for the gift of being able to meet this soul human before he transitioned. It was just so profound. It's not underestimating it to say that he helped shift the trajectory of my path. Very, very powerful impact. And so at this gathering, my friend played this music by a woman named Alicia Mathewson, and she was just playing some different songs, and they just resonated. I was listening to the lyrics going, oh my gosh, like how does she know that's how I feel? And that's exactly what's going on inside of me. And so when I came home, I purchased her album and I put it on my shuffle. And as you know, my shuffle is what I listen to when I run in the mornings. And so it started playing in my mix of whatever music was on my phone at that time. And so different songs would play at different times. And this one song called Sitting Alone, when I was out running, the lyrics just felt like this is me in this moment as I'm running, putting my feet on the earth with the headphones in my ears and feeling my connection to the earth. And it's just me. Even though the lyrics were sitting alone, like I felt the energy of it. And it just felt like she was singing it just for me. Those words were meant only for me to hear. And so I would listen to the song every time it would play and just feel the peace of what she was describing. at that time, I was leaving the partnership I'd been in before with the person who taught me or reminded me how to read energy. She helped me begin my practice of coaching and work that started this path I'm on. And I was in the process of separating from that relationship, and so through like September, October, November, I guess it would have been October is when I heard her music the first time. November, December, those were really difficult months as I was sitting alone a lot, contemplating, what have I done? What am I going to do? How can I start my own business? I'm not qualified. I don't have a path. I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, who do I think I am to say that I can coach people without supervision? Like, there was so much fear in everything I was looking at of the future. Excitement, because I could tell, like, this is what's next. It's going to be fine. You're going to be okay. But what felt more real was this fear of, I am going to screw this up, or I am way under, ready, not ready for what's coming. And so I sat alone a lot, and I ran a lot, and I listened to music a lot. And there were these days where I felt like it was never going to work and I had really taken the wrong turn and I should go back, or I should do a corporate job, or I should do something else. Like, this was not my path. And then there were other days where the energy was just flowing through me, and there was such clarity and such wisdom and perfection in what I was seeing, and I knew, like, this is the way. And then there would be the struggle again, and it was tumultuous. It was so intense and so difficult. And bless those who walked by me at that time, because I know I was a roller coaster. And what I found in those first few months is that meditation, not in the way I'd learned it, meditation in the way I was playing with it, in the way I was trying new things and listening to different people and following different guidance, and then sitting alone and feeling what meditation was for me. In that time, something new was birthed through me that is my own unique way of connecting to Source and to the earth, and channeling for humanity what these messages of love feel like. It wasn't anybody else's. It wasn't anyone else's ideas or creations or patterns. It was something new that was formed in those quiet moments of sitting alone. Because what I found is I was sitting alone in my human form, but when I was sitting quietly and tuning into love and tuning into that stillness, everything around me was magic. I could feel Source. I could hear the words that were coming through my third eye, through my mind, of what Source wanted me to translate, what my soul wanted to say. I could discern who my guides were. And the program I made, I guess it was a couple of years later, called Awakening the Guides. I created that program from the way that I got to know my own guides, from the way that I started connecting with this universal consciousness that's always around us. My way of doing it is what that program teaches, because I did it, I lived it. And if I hadn't lived it, I wouldn't have been able to speak to it. The way that I do my Sunday meditations, I mean, it's just magic. Those Sunday calls are such magic, because I feel this energy coming in through my crown and flowing through my third eye. I can see what's happening in the space of all the people who are in that community, that virtual community. I can discern, like, how do they need to be connected to the earth? What can I do to help them? What needs to shift in the body so that we can all, like, land here? And then how do we open up the flow of more energy coming in from Source, from God? Like, all of that came because I practiced it. I sat alone and I practiced it over and over and over, and until it just became so natural. It's as easy to me as breathing. I start that call on a Sunday and I don't think about it. I just channel love, and it comes out in words, and there's these images. It's just phenomenal. It's phenomenal. It's how I do these podcasts. I just sit here and feel love like pouring through me. And then I trust the words that are coming out of my mouth, and something incredible is always shared. Not because of me, the human that has, a whole bunch of flaws and problems. No, it's the sitting alone and trusting that when I connect in with love and I allow love to flow, what comes through is just love, just more love. So that's how I don't know, that's how the song impacted me. It was a reflection through music of what I was literally living in my life for so many years. Now here I am. It's been 4 years since I made this big transition in my life. And I can't imagine not having it be exactly as it is, and how amazing, how amazing the journey has been. Sitting alone is still one of my favorite things to do because I'm not alone. I'm not. I am fully hooked in, connected to this planet, to my source, to my soul, to my guides. Like, I'm not alone. And that's sort of what's the word? The contrast, the irony, the contradiction of the words. So I'm going to read you the lyrics. If you're at the place where I was years ago, doubting anything and everything and wondering how you got to where you are and what the future is even going to be, right? We arrive at these crossroads or moments of transition where we're like, what happened? How did I get here? And so perhaps my example, just keep doing those things that bring you peace and bring you clarity, and take the time to sit alone, because in that space, what happens is you find yourself, you get to know yourself, you get to connect with your stories and your patterns and see them for yourself, and then they can start to shift. If you can sit alone and be kind to yourself, don't beat yourself up. Like that's a pretty good first step. So here are the lyrics to Sitting Alone by Alicia Mathewson. I'm sitting alone in the house I grew up in. I'm sitting alone after all have gone home. I'm sitting alone, just me and the mosquitoes, on my parents' porch with the music of the night. And this is my favorite time, here all by myself, so grateful for all I know I have. Yes, this is my favorite time, here all by myself, still feeling all the love deep inside. I'm sitting alone in the house I grew up in. I'm sitting alone thinking back to a few years ago, when sitting alone was still so painful, and the anxious fear had such a stronghold. And this is my favorite time, here all by myself, so grateful for all I know I have. Yes, this is my favorite time, here all by myself, still feeling all the love deep inside. Sometimes you've got to sit and feel the pain. Sometimes you've got to sit and try and understand. Sometimes you've got to sit until you grow. Sitting alone, sitting alone. Sitting alone helps me know the love deep inside. I'm sitting alone in this body I was given. I'm sitting alone with the sun on my face. I'm sitting alone, just breathing in the silence. So clear now, only love lives in this place. And this is my favorite time, here all by myself. So grateful for all I know I am. Yes, this is my favorite time, here all by myself, still feeling all the love deep inside. Thank you for tuning into this vibration of pure love. I invite you to join me in aligning with the optimal health of your mind, body, spirit in the virtual community of Viv's Energy Gym. You can learn more at mysouljourney.com. Let's take this message of Gaia's love out into all of our relationships and communities today. So much love from my heart to yours.